Thanks for joining me, Matt Loughran. You're the Vice President of Communications for the ACHA. It's a brand new position, so just explain to me a little bit about what you're looking to accomplish this year.
Thanks for having me, Monica. We're going to be going into this year trying to enhance the brand of the ACHA, make it more visible in the hockey industry itself, among hockey executives and hockey communications people with the various league offices, and certainly out among the public, just so the kids and their families have more avenues to get information and features from the ACHA.
Now, what types of social media do you plan on using to make that news and information more accessible to families and people who are interested in what's going on in the ACHA?
Sure. We're gonna ramp up our Facebook presence for sure, as well as our Twitter feed. A lot of the Twitter activity takes place at the league level, conference or league level. The individual schools and the commissioners of the different conferences and divisions will do a lot of that. But we're going to try to bring that together and make it more of a single entity. And we're going to expand our presence on LinkedIn as well. In addition to that, we are going to have a new website to introduce, and that's down the road a little bit. They are working on it quite diligently, but there's a lot of work, as you know, with 500 teams. There's a lot of detail to be done, and as soon as we have that ready to go live, we're going to introduce a new website, which will be far more extensive and have a lot more information, be much more user-friendly.
So talk a little bit about your background. What made you want to get involved in the ACHA and take on this newly created position?
Well, I've been in the hockey business really all my adult life. I started out as an office boy, the office boy for the National Hockey League in New York. That was back in the early 80s. After playing for an ACHA team, the NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology in Newark, New Jersey, that's where I went to college. There was no ACHA back then. We were in the old Met Conference, the Metropolitan Hockey Conference. So I had, the exposure as a player to club hockey, and was fortunate enough, just by chance, to get into the National Hockey League office as my starting job. I went on to work for the New York Rangers for 11 years, and then left there to run my own minor league hockey teams. Ended up going back into the NHL with the Florida Panthers, and left Florida in 2007 and came down here to Greenville, South Carolina, to start up the Greenville Road Warriors. We moved the Johnstown Chiefs of the ECHL down here. Now, we sold the team a couple years ago, and I decided to stay here in Greenville and take a sabbatical from the hockey business. My wife and I had met a girl when I moved here, and we got married, and I had two beautiful stepchildren. We wanted to raise them here for a few years. And now I'm bouncing back from an illness. I was sick for a couple years, but feel much better now. And this was a good opportunity for me to get involved back in hockey on a level that's not going to require me to move away from my doctors at this point. I can work from the home here. And I was introduced to Mike Wally, the executive director of the ACHA, and we hit it off on the phone, and he offered me the position a few months ago.
Well, it's definitely exciting to have you on board. Now, 5 years down the road, let's take a look ahead. Where do you hope the ACHA will be, and how do you hope your position will help them get there?
Well, I think that the conference, the association itself would love to have a women's Division III to go along with the 1 and 2 divisions. And that would obviously increase the number of teams even more. Something that's a cohesive unit that I think we're really on the right track when we decided to bring all 5 division tournaments, national tournaments, under one roof to Columbus. That's going to make it a much more cohesive organism, for lack of a better word, and make it a lot easier to brand and make it a lot more visible within the hockey industry. So I see in 5 years down the road 6 divisions, 3 on each side, several more teams, several more maybe geographically aligned conferences that make it a little easier on the travel for some of these players, and something that's a lot more visible and a good option for kids who play junior hockey in the United States to move on to play in college.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's definitely exciting to see all that's ahead for the league this year and in the upcoming seasons.
Well, thanks for having me, Monika. Appreciate it.